Hi, everyone. Hi. Okay, I can see some waves. I can live with that. Okay, the interesting thing is, if you're attending a conference nowadays, and if the word AI is not in the conference, then there is something seriously wrong, right? Because that is the latest buzzword. I am sure in the last year, 2 years, every single conference, every single webinar, zillion LinkedIn posts, everything is about AI, right? That's the latest revolution which is, taken over our professional and personal lives too, right? And there's just so much happening around us, and the pace of change is so much. And every other day, there's something new, some new buzzword in AI, something new in AI, something that someone's trying out. That I think discussions like this help us to understand what is really happening, right? What is it that organizations are doing? Are there, technologies or AI tools that companies have already implemented? Have they seen benefits from it, right? Because it's a fast evolving world, but it's also increasingly very, very complex. And to navigate this, it's really important for us to, have conversations like this and hear from each other. So we have an amazing set of speakers today, all senior HR leaders from various organizations and different industries. Many of them have already implemented AI or learning about AI or definitely thinking about AI, I'm sure. So let's start off. And the first question, Pratyusha, is obviously always to you. Pratyusha, I have known her for more than 20 years. My colleague from Genpact. So Pratyusha, the first question goes to you. Have you already integrated AI into the HR functions? And if so, have you seen any benefits? Now, I know it's early stages, but have you already seen any benefits in terms of higher efficiency or decision making or anything else that you can share?
So thanks, Rekha. And it's nice to see the fellow panelists after lunch being awake for a HR session. So thanks for being there. So I think to Rekha's question, have we really implemented AI in HR and what are the benefits? So just to give you a little brief background, I've been a Six Sigma consultant. I have done Six Sigma operations, and always we looked at, and I'm sure there are many facilities, procurement people here. It's always in our DNA, whoever's been in the industry for the last 20 years, like what Rekha said, that we need to drive efficiency, decision making, and productivity has always been our KRAs and targets, whatever we have been doing. And then came lean, right? We've always implemented lean in our workplaces. Then you started looking at design thinking. There's a lot of tools which kept coming. And now, of course, the buzzwords is the AI, agentic AI, using data, using machine learning. Specifically, I think to answer to your question, I did implement AI. I was with Cognizant for 10 years. And we did a lot of work because that's the time the scale was there. And we started using AI in two areas. One is in the HR operations work. I think many people who have been in facilities and procurement keep getting, is my transport on time? Is my, leave balance very fine? Because so we started introducing a lot of chatbots, improving the employee experience. The second place is around the whole skilling and development part. I think learning and development has evolved the last 10 years. It was a lot more of in-person. We moved to blended learning. It's a lot of AI-enabled learning. So we have a big multi-generation workforce coming into the workforce. So if you see, almost 50% of them are below 30 years. And if you have such kind of people, we need to understand what their journey is very different from what our journey is. So how do you create these personalized paths for them to build on their journey? Yes, AI has been implemented, whether it's in recruitment, operations, or in learning and development at different stages, only to help us to improve our decision making and use the human HR professionals in a much more valuable way. I think we've gone a long way, and still I think it's going to, as you said, a very fast pace next couple of years. Many of us have not taken a plunge, but you'll see the next 4-5 years we'll be there for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I was at this HR leaders catch up the other day, and one of the HR leaders shared a very interesting, incident which happened. Apparently, he gets a request from one of the leaders saying that, can you record all the employee conversations which happen in the cafeteria? And then I'm going to use the AI tool. I'm going to, look at all the conversations, and I'm going to see, what are the trends, what are the themes, and what is it that people are actually talking in the cafeteria. So, of course, this is a very scary situation, and I'm pretty sure the HR leader said no. But Sriram, that actually brings me to the question that there's so much happening and so fast, right? So governance is so important, and how do we ensure that there is an ethical use of AI tools in HR? How do we ensure transparency? So anything that you can share on that, or anything that you've done, on that front?
Oh yes, thanks, Rekha, for that. At T-Tech Digital, I had the HR for T-Tech Digital. So what we have done is we have set up proper guidelines, which is the key for implementing an AI transformation, right? We made sure that there is a proper, a guideline and a proper training process that is set for all the employees to ensure that there is an ethical use, and a proper governance was also built. Without that, I don't think people with the maturity that I see currently in the world with AI into transformation, I don't think people will be using it for the right purposes. So these guidelines and proper training have actually helped us in terms of what to use and what not to use. And beyond that, there is always a kind of biased decisions that people will take, and we have made sure that the models and the kind of problem statements that are given are properly, unbiasedly modeled and kind of taken care in terms of there is a regular check in terms of whatever is given to that, right? In that sense, I believe there is a lot of governance is still needed. Otherwise, we will not be able to progress in the right factor where we would, or the organizations would anticipate the culture to be evolving. That's my view.
Thanks, Sriram. See, when you hear about AI, one of the common things that you hear is, AI has the potential to, remove routine tasks, right? Operationalize all the routine tasks, which in turn then gives you the bandwidth to focus on higher level, tasks. So obviously, there is a lot of impact on productivity. So Manish, any examples that you can share on how AI can positively impact an increase in productivity, and anything that you have seen or tried out?
So you said that last 2-3 years, AI has been most beaten, used, abused word in these forums. But another one word which has been equally used is productivity, right? And all of us who come here means workplace, try to enhance that. And AI has been the most recent tool which we are trying to enhance productivity, right? So since you asked about some examples, let's go back 5 years or maybe 7-8 years, and we see there was a thing called chatbot which got initiated, and a lot of queries went out of window where HR was supposed to answer those queries by mail or by call or whatever. Now, there are chatbots, you can ask me kind of things, and they have helped a lot. But that's one of the ways which we can see very easily. Another one which is more deep dive is on creating those solutions. Where, for example, HR started as an ERP, HRMS. Now we are talking about not only HRMS, but how we can enhance its AI usage. So why, for example, why do I need to take first cut interviews, right? Can chatbot do the interviews? So you see many sites, many solutions are available now where you put up a questionnaire from the JD and it tells you these guys are eligible or best fitments. So that is one more example which we are trying to enhance again productivity and use of AI. which I can also, I'll not say foresee, but I'm seeing it happening now, is more on developmental aspects, where we are talking about leadership development, we are talking on talent management, where people are devising those strategies which can identify the development areas of my team or first line managers and how I can enhance their, say, effectiveness over a period. And then I don't think it's a far day when you'll find a chatbot telling and coming and telling you, you have not done this kind of things which you're supposed to do as a part of your action learning project, and I'm telling it to your manager. So these things are bound to happen over a period. So I think I'll take a pause here and look forward to listen more of us on what are the other usages and examples we are using it on AI and ML.
So I can totally relate to, what you mentioned earlier, especially on the policy queries. I think we all would have been frustrated with the number of times, how much ever you communicate, about all the employee policies, you'll still have employees. What is my medical cover? What is the shuttle timing? What is this, policy, right? What is the number of leaves, right? So you're absolutely right. I think, at least in my conversations with other HR leaders, having a HR policy chatbot or, having an onboarding chatbot, or a facilities, chatbot also, I think will really help in terms of at least removing those routine, queries from our, day-to-day working with employees, right? Which brings me to the next question, Janani. There's just so much happening around, right? Like yesterday also I had a, team meeting with my HR team, and obviously, no guesses, the topic was AI in HR. And so one of them actually showcased some very interesting new tools like Gamma AI, which you can use to generate PowerPoint presentations and all of that, right? So there's just so much happening. Anything that you have done personally, either for your own learning or for your team, in terms of staying abreast of what's happening in the field of AI and how you can leverage that in your day-to-day work?
Sure, yeah. I think AI, if it has done anything, I think it's brought parity to everyone, saying, hey, all of you start from ground zero and you're all in zero right now, right? And from now on, the journey is just very new, and it's an opportunity in itself. So back to my own journey, Rekha, 2 years back, I think November 22 was when ChatGPT came out, and the first thing I did is I made my entire team and myself, all of us sat in front of YouTube, the course that was there. We did it together. Post that, we had a coffee conversation, and one of the team members was very quiet. Rest all were saying, I think I see this as a use case, that as a use case. And then I called this team member separately and asked, hey, what's going on? Why is this silence? He said, Janani, I'm coming from a banking environment. I just don't comprehend these things. You guys are all from IT. So my journey is different. I said, let's do this. Take any topic and let's just create a letter and see. Your emails, let's just modify it and see through ChatGPT. Let's just try it, because at that time, all of us were new, The moment he did it, he saw the benefit. And one big learning for me was, after that, everything from him, all documentations were perfect. How? He just conquered that fear that was there in front of him. It's like the best way to conquer the fear is to face it. So I think that's really what we all need to do. From that standpoint, fast forward, in the last 6 months, it's been tremendously fast-paced from an AI perspective. My entire team, I put them into AI training, like basic AI training. The entire recruitment team knows. Last year I put them to training where they can write, booleans for search. But then right now we have a tool that writes the boolean also. So it's like, then it's about how do you prompt, how do you work with AI, right? It's not, you will have to work with the AI. The same tool, it gives different results for Rekha versus different results for Janani. Why? Because of our way of interaction, which means I need to focus more on my way of interaction. If I give the right prompts, it's going to help me. And there are varieties of tools as well. So it was tough, I must say. So what we did is, every team, I have like 4 sub-functions within HR. I said every week, every team should at least explore one AI tool and then come and speak about it as part of the team meeting. It will not be a standalone. If you keep standalone, you'll get killed. So it's like you talk about your team updates, but then tell me one AI tool that you have explored. And all are free tools. you don't upload any organizational information. So that way we have come across a lot, right? Like you learn, or like, ClickUp and Grok is like terrific. Then, so many other tools, so to say, Gamma, or for analytics you have some tools, and some we know it's working, some we know it's not working. But at least we are in the game, constantly trying. Personally, I use Copilot quite a bit. Like, I'm not reading long email trails. I'm just saying, give me the summary. If there are five profiles that have come, I'm saying, hey, just rank this and give me. This is the JD. So I'm trying to be very mindful to use it, but I'm always thinking that I'm in the driver's seat. It's helping me, right? It's clearly that. It's only a co-pilot for me and not autopilot.
Absolutely. In fact, I was just reminded of something I read the other day that, see, machines learn from humans, right? So if humans have biases, then the machines also pick up that, right? Okay, Giri, quickly, let's move to you. Have you leveraged AI in your team? If so, in what way? And what are the benefits that you have seen?
So we did use AI, especially with employee experience. So we used a tool by name Jarvis. So we kind of fed in all our HR policies into this tool. And then whenever employee has any query about our policies, they just get into their teams. And there they can just chat with the tool, like whatever happens. It could be like, how do I take leave? How many leaves can I take? Or how do I claim my insurance? Or whatever it is in our handbook, that's all been answered by that. And if they still have any queries, when they wanted to come and talk to us about any policies, then they'll come to us. That is one tool we used. And we also used something more of employee experience, right? You wanted to check, how is the health of the organization in terms of how satisfied are these employees. So we implemented something, again, it's more of a mood board. So what happens is this mood board, it tracks the mood of the candidate. Whenever they open our HRMS system, and it tracks, so how happy are you or how sad are you? And then based on that, we get some sort of inputs from that particular tool where 1, 2, 2 or 1, 2, 3, it's like we personally meet them, so especially not in our HR desk or so, we take them out for a coffee or we go out for lunch or so, and we discuss with them what's happening, what's wrong with us, like, is there something problem with your manager or so. That's something which is helping us. And the third thing what we recently did is, even in terms of hiring, one is what Janani covered already. For my team, some are seniors, some are juniors. For them, I told start using some sort of a GPT tool and go and give the job description, ask it to give it back, your Boolean search. They started getting good results. The other thing what we did is assessments. So we also run our call centers. Call centers, it's a very hectic task to kind of shortlist too many people. Every day there are like hundreds of people coming and sitting in front of a front desk, and then we don't talk to them properly, they write a review. We don't deal with them properly, they write a review. That has becoming a humongous task, and that was bringing in a lot of negativity on our organization. So what we did is we recently kind of implemented a tool by name AlphaRun. So what it does is it takes our job description as an input, and you can also add some other questions, whatever you wanted to add into that. And this is also it's not very static. It will not just ask those questions, it will ask follow-up questions. And we started getting very good results, especially in terms of assessing communication skills. It was awesome. And even in terms of behavioral skill, obviously whatever we fed into that tool, they are trying to do best, and we are able to shortlist certain number of people, and very few are coming into our lobby, and we are able to deal with them very easily, and we stopped getting some bad reviews and all that. So these are some areas we started using, and there are other tools which we kind of trying it out, but this is what we had done so far.
Awesome, great. So coming to the last question, and then there's a small surprise segment. I was reading somewhere that skill is actually at 3 different levels, right? The first level is awareness, which is knowledge about a particular, area, right? Second is application, applying that knowledge in terms of implementing something. Third is creativity. Now, the first 2 can be done by AI, right? We are already seeing a lot of examples. The third, where it is still with the human in terms of innovation, creativity, transformation, and all of that stuff. Now they say that if you're continuing to hire for the first two, then that is where you will see a lot of layoffs and redundancies, right? So what's your view? And the question is open to anyone on the panel. Do you see AI as a job creator or a job displacer? And what is it that an employee should do to remain relevant in this AI age?
See, in my view, while AI is there, someone is telling in the procurement conclave, right? It is human intervention. So it is not just human intervention; it has to be human intelligence as well. So we were talking of the stage. So HR is mandate. Like that, I believe employees are also mandate. Nothing can really take off the jobs or the kind of risk that we foresee. Unless and until there is a continuous learning and the organizations push towards a proper learning path for their employees, I don't think it is going to happen. I'm sorry, the other question was about?
What is it that an employee needs to do to remain relevant in this AI age?
A continuous learning,
Yeah.
it has to be linked with the performance appraisals and all that stuff. Performance linked learning path has to be created. So that is what I see.
Just wanted to share, right? I think to your point, AI is a job creator and a job dispenser. It's both, right? And why I say this is you mentioned that repetitive tasks really get transformed. We use tools and technologies, but you need a human to really judge. And the higher order skills, which all of us should really look at, is judgment, decision making, thinking. The mindset is so important to act on a certain situation, which AI may do it fast. It may give a response, like as he said, job descriptions, or maybe this thing, but whether it is appropriate, right, is it go back to the policy or go back to the root cause, is a very, very important judgment, critical thinking. And that comes only with experience. But today's generation is says, I don't need experience. I can do everything with AI. But I think when it comes to the end, these are very critical. Experience, expertise, and that kind of judgment is going to be very critical. So just thought I'll share that.
So the addition I had is about the skilling piece, right? I've been reflecting on this topic quite a bit. And I think there is always a wave that comes. Some point it was SharePoint 2013. Some point it was is HANA. And then it was blockchain. And then blockchain didn't really take off as we expected. Now it's AI, and AI is so much spoken about because it's literally touching all of our lives. And we can't even hold conversations with our 10-year-olds if we are not aware of it. The point is, it's important to think right now that what will remain, right? There is this book called Same as Ever, in which the author talks about just focus on what will always remain, right? And then there will be variables. AI is a variable. What will remain? Maybe, our ability to stay grounded, our ability to stay focused, our ability to be able to stay patient in the journey. I think very human. All of it that I'm talking are very human. Perhaps those are the things everybody has to focus. I was seeing these two pictures that are very, very telling, right? Like sometime in 1908, there is this picture of New York street where you have all horse carts, horses, and there is a person who is driving the horse. 10 years from then, horses, horse carts replaced, cars, human beings, right? The point is humans were able to accommodate that and they learned car driving. If that's possible, AI is what? It's another tool, right? I think first is what will remain, food will remain, clothing will remain. I mean, we should go to that level of basic aspects and then say, okay, how can I use AI as a tool for anything that I'm doing. Therefore, I'm able to operate at an elevated level. So what I'm talking about is essentially a mind shift, Rekha, from fear to feeling empowered is what I'm talking about.
So I think anything SOP based, right? I mean, it's like Pratyusha or Janani was mentioning. Anything process oriented, it's all gone. We'll have to start thinking something else. Anything SME, right? I mean, you're a subject matter expert, there's a lot of need. I mean, can AI bring in empathy? No. Right? Can AI formulate policies like when COVID suddenly came? We never thought of COVID, but can AI go ahead and dynamically create a policy? No. Right? I mean, so AI can't come to that extent. We'll have to always feed in some sort of a data into AI, and that's when it can be. I don't think so. It's so easily going to replace all the jobs, but definitely SOP-based jobs are all gone eventually.
So last few thoughts, because you asked about whether it's a job creator or remover. So I think human beings are very smart. We do jobs to keep ourselves busy and to contribute. So let AI work and we'll keep ourselves busy with them or maybe with some other things where we'll contribute. So I don't think human beings can never be out of job. We'll find something or other thing to keep ourselves busy.
Awesome. Okay, yeah.
This perspective, I have a small example, right? I mean, there is this North America-based contact center organization that had let go a lot of agents implementing AI and chatbots to their, to their workforce management. Later, they realized that the AIs and the chatbots are not really working out to the expectations of the customer experience and all that stuff. They had to implement or roll back the AIs and started hiring the human workforce again. So, net, I would see that AI is not a threat to the human employment, but you have to be up to speed with what the technology is. Yeah.
Great. So before we close, let's have some fun. We'll do a quick rapid fire. The question is open to all. We'll do fastest finger first. And it has to be a one-word answer. Okay? Let's go with the first one. Okay. If you had AI to take over your decision making, which decision would you want it to take over? Now, this has to be a non-work decision. Anyone?
My travel plans.
Okay. Anyone else?
Ordering all household items.
I think for me, it would be what to wear every day. That's the biggest decision that I would love AI to, take over. Oh, what's the occasion today? Okay, this is what you should be wearing. Okay. Any fun uses of ChatGPT?
Ghibli pictures.
Okay, yes, of course. Anyone else? What are some fun questions you've asked ChatGPT?
What fun activities can be dealt in the organization? What fun activities can be organized in the organization?
Okay.
I would like to answer this. Every time when in the evening somebody asks at home, "Aaj khane mein kya banaun?" So it should answer that.
Most important question.
So I did something very different with ChatGPT. I said, hey, you have been interacting with me for a few months now. Give me feedback. And how do I improve? What am I not doing well in prompting? And it gives brilliant answers. Yeah, it does.
If AI were a superhero, which superhero do you think it would be? If AI were a superhero, which superhero do you think it would be?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Okay. Wonder Woman. Of course, we need diversity. Okay, last one. If AI were a film or a film song, which one do you think it would be? Yes.
Tujhe dekha to ye jana
You should sing it, Manish. Okay, anyone else?
Sorry?
No, good one. Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. So, great conversations. Thank you for all your inputs. And, I just want to quote Shakespeare. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And similarly, AI could be your best friend or your worst enemy. I think the panel has spoken enough on how you view it, how you leverage it, and how you use it to augment your daily life or in your profession. It's completely in our hands, and thank you so much.